Hello kids, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to start a new playlist. This is specially dedicated to grade 11 general mathematics for Australian curriculum. Now it could be VCE or it could be an NSW curriculum or a South Australia or Western Australia, wherever you are. This is the general maths Unit 1 and Unit 2. In this playlist, we will broadly cover topics under computation and practical arithmetics. So the topics like BODMAS, which is the topic of the day, along with directional numbers, significant figures, powers, squares, square roots, rounding off, and all that stuff. So today's video is specifically dedicated to a very confusing topic. A lot of children I teach here in Victoria, so they goof up with something known as BODMAS. Yes, so I know this is being taught right from grade 7 in Victoria, but I have seen even grade 11 and grade 12 students fumbling on BODMAS. So I thought, rather than jumping onto anything more complex, the best way is to pick up something very basic and useful. So even if you're not grade 11, you're grade 10, grade 9, grade 8, grade 7, and you have no idea of what BODMAS is, or it still confuses you, this video is for you. Alright, so let's get started without wasting any more time. So BODMAS, as you see, it is made up of 6 alphabets: B, O, D, M, A, and S. B stands for bracket, O stands for the off in fractions and orders in general expressions. When we say orders, we say powers or square roots. D and M, D stands for division, M stands for multiplication, left to right. So we'll come to that in a moment. A stands for addition and S stands for subtraction. Again, left to right. Now that's the order of precedence. So in any expression, B or the brackets carries the maximum or the maximum precedence. Then comes your O, your off or the order. Then comes your D and M. So a lot of kids do mistake while evaluating D and M. So it is specifically evaluated from left to right. So if you scan any expression from left to right, if you encounter an M first, that's solved first. Or if you encounter a D first, D is solved first. So it's left to right. We'll see with an example going forward. And same stands for A and S, which is addition and subtraction, again left to right. So that means in any expression, if you find subtraction before multiplication, subtraction takes the precedence over addition, simply because it has been, that's the one which you have encountered before addition. So that's broadly how the precedence for BODMAS is: B number 1, O number 2, D and M number 3, A, S number 4. Cool. That was very basic of what BODMAS is. Now let's do a quick example to illustrate what BODMAS is. So now I am going to pick one expression, 3 plus 6 times 8, and I'm going to do another one which says 3 times 6 plus 8. Now let's try to solve this using BODMAS. I'll write BODMAS right in the middle. BODMAS. Yep. So let's draw a small line here. Sorry for being a bit untidy. All right. So now first expression on the left that we are solving. So we know we've got two operations here. We've got a plus an addition or a multiplication. So if I see my precedence here, multiplications comes first, so that is something that I need to solve first. So I would solve 6 times 8 first. So 6 times 8 is a 48, we know that. The expressions become 3 plus 48, and hence I've just got one more expression left, one more operation left, which is an addition. So 48 plus 3 becomes a 51. So that's the answer for this expression. Now we go here. Now again, we have two operations here, a multiply and a addition. Again, multiplication needs to be solved first. So 6 times 3 comes an 18. 18 plus 8 we know is 26. So you see, this is the very basic of how, when you've got two operations, especially in two different categories, the precedence is very simple. Now let's do another one. I'll pick up a different color for this one. Let's say we do 12 divided by 4 times 3 plus 2. A bit more complicated now. Now, what are the operations that we've got? We've got a division, a D, we've got a multiplication, M, and we've got an addition, A. Now, if I scan from left to right, left, and that's my right. If I scan from this end, I know I've got my D and M's together. I've got in the same expression, I've got a divide and I've got a multiply. Now, what do I do first? When I scan it from left to right, what do I encounter first? A divide or a multiply? I encounter a divide first. And that is why in here, division takes precedence over multiplication. So I will solve the division first. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And I will write rest of the expression as is. Now it's very simple, as we've done in the previous example. Now I've got just 2, which is an M and an A, and from the precedence I know M takes precedence over A. So that means multiply needs to be solved first. So 3 times 3 is a 9 plus 2. I'm just left with one operation, which is an addition. So 9 plus 2 is 11. So that is how you find, or you deal with operations with similar precedence. Here it was D and M. Let's flip this. Let's flip this to take another example. I say 12. Now rather than a division, I take a multiplication first. So I say same expression, but I'm just flipping a divide with a multiply here, you see. So now again, from my left to right, this is my left and that's my right. From my left to right, what do I encounter first? That's the order that I encounter. I encounter a multiply first. So that means I need to deal with this multiply first rather than a division. Now here in D and M, M takes the precedence because M is something that I've encountered first while scanning from left to right. So 12 times 4 is 48. 48 divided by 3 plus 2. Now 48 now I've got D and A. Now I know D takes precedence here, A comes the last. So I will solve this first. Now what is 48 divided by 3? That's the one that I'm going to, so that's 16. And I'm just left with plus 2 and the answer is 18. You see, I have just flipped the signs here. I've taken a plus, I've taken a multiply before a divide in the second example, and the answer is completely different. So that is where dealing with divides and multiplies and similarly additions and subtraction becomes very, very tricky. I hope you're getting my point here, and it is very, very clear. Now let us take one last example of a bracket, and we'll take a fresh page here. Let us take a 23 minus 8 times 2 plus let's say 1. Now if you've got something like this, now we know again from BODMAS, brackets needs to be solved first. But now here there is a slight problem. Within my brackets I've got two operations. I've got an M and I've got an A. So that means, since I need to solve my bracket first, so that means any expression within the brackets needs to be solved independently using BODMAS. And once you have reached down to the final number, you then remove the brackets. So that means I need to solve 8 times 2 plus 1 before doing anything with 23. So let's solve that. I know this is M and this is A. I know M takes precedence over A. So 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. So this expression lands me to 17. So my final expression becomes 23 minus 17, and the answer is 23 minus 17 is 6. So that is how you deal with brackets. So I reiterate again, if you've got any brackets and within the brackets you've got multiple expressions, they need to be independently dealt using BODMAS. Now, one last example before I end this video today is taking the O, which is the order. So suppose I take the same example and I say this example is something like this. Now what exactly we need to do? So as I said, again bracket takes the precedence, so that means the expression within the bracket needs to be solved independently. Now we've got an expression within the bracket as 2 to the power of 3 times 2 plus 1. So here, as I say, BODMAS order. Now we've got an order, O, in terms of the power. We've got a multiply and we've got an addition. So we know O takes the precedence on top of everything. So O is 2 raised to the power 3. 2 raised to the power 3 is 8. Rest of the expression still remains the same. And now I will solve a multiply. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Now 17 is the final answer. 17 is the final answer here. And I say my final expression becomes, after solving the bracket, 23 minus 17, and the answer is 6 again. So I hope I'm able to clear the doubts around BODMAS and its usage, and I hope this made a lot of sense to you guys. Feel free to share this video with your friends, with your schoolmates, with your colleagues who are struggling to understand BODMAS and its applications. And hook onto the channel for more VCE stuff, especially for general mathematics, grade 11, unit 1 and 2 going forward. Last but not the least, thanks for watching.